Okay, so I am on retention day 18, and I just wanted to make a quick video about my experience and what I learned from it. So when I go to visit my girlfriend, she lives in a apartment, student's apartment with other people, and one of them is Russian, and then he invites always a lot of other Russians, and they are in the kitchen, and they are drinking and smoking and getting high on drugs and whatever they do, having loud Russian music and everything. And he also happens to have a girlfriend, and they always are in the directly room next to my girlfriend, and there they have very loud intercourse sometimes. So I realized something. This whole apartment is a very lustful place somehow. Like, even in the past, when I was struggling with my urges, I was edging one time, then I went to my girlfriend. My girlfriend was making food or tea or whatever, and I just looked out of the window to the apartment on the opposite side, across the street, across the building block, and there was a couple there, and they had the curtains pulled away and the light was turned on, and they were just naked both there. So always when I'm there, weird stuff happens. This is also the place where I recently, this Monday, got my so-called wet dream. And even yesterday, when I was visiting my girlfriend, and those Russians were in the kitchen, and they were all the time just talking about girls, what kind of girls they like, about dating, about the shapes of the female body and everything. And then I just had to go by to go to the toilet. They heard the steps, so they thought maybe a girl is coming, and the one of the guy was telling to the others, shh, like be more quiet when talking. But then it was just me, so I walk by, I go to the toilet, I go back out, and they suddenly talk also about different types of girls. At one time, they were also talking about chubby girls, for example. But when I just left again the toilet, they were talking about muscular African girl and so on. And this is exactly like in my wet dream that I had. I was also dreaming of such a type. And now I wonder to what degree. I mean, I'm not sure who picked up on whose thoughts. They picked up on mine, or I picked up on theirs, but it was rather random. So, yeah, maybe I really picked up on the thought that was already in the energy field of this whole apartment, because they talk about this stuff. And even that day, when I visited my girlfriend and she was preparing the food in the kitchen, like yesterday, I mean, and the Russians were in the kitchen talking about all of this sexual stuff, and I was waiting in her room, and I could hear it still from the room. I could hear what's going on in the kitchen. And it was subconscious, like I didn't even pay attention, but I also got suddenly stronger urges. Like normally this wouldn't happen. I had for a moment unnormally strong urges. And I concluded that it is because of the energy field that is in this apartment, this hypersexualized place. Okay, nothing happened. I didn't relapse, nothing. But this leads me to the conclusion that, it seems the only reason it is so hard for people like us to retain, it's not really because we are lacking the willpower. The real people who lack the willpower are the gunas, those people that, for them it's normal to watch corn. You cannot compare this to us people who really try. Like, even if someone is just able to go on low streaks of a week or whatever, and then he has one day where he is like whatever, relapsing badly, you cannot call him a guna. I think the retention community really has an issue that they directly call everyone a guna. This is just not fair to the people who try. Mocking everyone that is not on the highest level like them, this is just not fair. You have to give everyone a chance and encourage them instead of mocking them. And for the most ridiculous reasons, this is so, you know, some people relapse once a week and then they get mocked, and others they goon every day, and it's just normal. So it's just ridiculous, I think. So the retention community really should stop doing that. That's really not fair. And I think why it's really so hard for us is because we are living in such a hypersexualized society where you get bombarded online and offline. And it's not just the internet, it's what people themselves have in their own thought field. Most people don't do retention, most of them never even heard of it, and they are very filled with lust subconsciously 24/7. And so the world is full of those people, and we are living among them in the society. So the energetical field on the earth in the societies, especially in the Western world, but also in general, is hypersexualized. And we pick up on these subtle energies all the time. And this is why we get urges all the time. And this is why it's so difficult to stay on a streak. So people like us who are retainers, we incarnated with another higher purpose. We are more advanced as souls, I think. And the only reason it is so hard for us, it's not our own failure. It is because we are living in this invisible, energetical, lustful field. So I think everyone who is trying to retain, even just trying, is a hero. We are heroes and we are fighting the spiritual battle. Wanted to leave you today with this message.